Yeah, how are you guys both doing?
Doing great.
Fine. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's a Sunday here, you know. It's like
Yeah,
it's rainy outside. It's a Sunday.
I love the rain. Does it rain there a lot? Are you guys both in the same location?
Yeah.
Yes, we are. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Does it rain there a lot?
Right now, yes. Yes,
Okay.
back to autumn in France and yeah, plenty of rain. Yeah, doing good.
Awesome. Yeah, I love the rain. So, but we don't I don't know, we don't get it a lot, so I like when it does.
Oh, yeah. Where are you in the
I'm in
US?
Idaho in the States.
All right. Okay,
Yeah.
I see.
Yeah. Yes. Have you guys ever made it over here? I know you've done a lot of festivals, but have you done any festivals over in the States?
Oh,
Nope,
not yet.
Not yet.
Not planned
not yet.
for now.
Not yet.
We got plenty of stuff to bring on the plane, so that's the next step.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. So yeah, well, when I started looking through your guys' history, you guys have been together for a long time, but haven't put out an album yet.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's true.
Yeah.
It's a long story, but not a complicated one. I started the band with a friend of mine. It was like, yeah, more than 10 years ago. 10 years ago, we'll say 10 years ago. But it really started as a small project, like just playing for fun and everything. And we released an EP in that configuration with other people, other friends. And then it started to, I wanted more, you know, I wanted to make something like serious, like real stuff, you know.
Right.
And I met Bertrand, which is here at this moment, I think. Yeah, after the EP, and yeah, we started to think about what we could do with what we had, and it was really the beginning of big changes in the music itself, since we gave up all the stuff we had from this first area. So yeah, when people ask me, yeah, the band is 10 years old, where are you now? And I like, yeah, the name of the band is, but
Not
the
the
music
band
we do
itself.
isn't. Yeah.
Right. So
So
when
yeah.
did you bring on the other guys? What do you remember, like around what year? You said it was around after the EP. When did the EP come out?
yeah, it was actually the EP that made me join Kozoria, but the final shape of Kozoria as it is today had to wait up to 2019, 2020, just before
Right.
COVID. So that was terrible timing, but still,
Yeah.
that was the moment where we found out, okay, this is the right recipe that we want to apply. And that translated into the album that we are about to release. And that's what we all agreed on. Okay, this is how we want it to sound. This is what we want to do for the many years to come. So that's actually pretty recent, in fact.
Okay. So what like were the conversations or the ideas that you guys kind of talked about with what the recipe you said with the recipe? And obviously at this point you know that I'm a big fan. So tell me about how you kind of decided what you guys were gonna evolve into or lean into.
Yeah, we were trying to blend some of our influences, but we found out that we needed to step up all the written stuff that we had, and we started to have some sounds where we were like, oh, this is the next level. That was the point. And so we basically reworked all the demos that Julien gathered over the years to step up and to bring that with a heavier sound with better quality in the demos. Because so far, Julien is very he's very fluent and he produces a lot of sound, but making a step up in the quality of everything we did back then was the trigger to see, okay, we need to make that with better quality, with um, actually demos that sounded already great. And that was the starting point. We want to explore the
Yeah.
sound.
The big change was the arrangements too. Cause I started to use like synth choirs and everything.
Mhm.
So yeah, it was I think the most valuable thing, because the music itself, it's pretty hard to say, oh, this riff is better than this one, or but yeah, the real step up was like the using of synthesizers and choirs. and the shape of the composition itself. I started to work by layer inside of the parts rather than composing the whole guitar, then the whole voice, then the whole bass and everything. Eh, this was really mind blowing. It was really
Yeah,
changing the way, because every part is justified. We tried to avoid how do you say to fill the gaps inside the song.
Mhm, mhm,
We have to feel that every part is meant to be here.
mhm.
It has to be here. It can't be anything else. I
and
like
so
to say that.
the process was born. That was the time. We knew
Mhm.
we wanted to work that way for the coming years. Yeah.
Yeah, well, that makes sense. And you guys definitely delivered that because there is so much to the songs, the fullness of them, I mean, bring out a lot of emotions, I felt. And I think that some of the choir singing and the harmonizing and the synth, like you said, plus obviously the riffs and the solos built in there, you have a very emotional flow with all of it together. I know that all also the lyrics have a lot. I haven't had very much coffee today. It's been a morning. um, but also, yeah, the lyrics have a lot of meaning into them as well. So let's talk a little bit about kind of the concept of the album, and what you guys are talking about, because I think it's really important to talk about.
Yes,
Yeah, sure.
and you have the mind behind the magic, and that's Julien for both of these points, both for the singing because he loves layering parts
Yeah.
And
of
you
singing,
have
lots
quite
of
a
them.
range.
Yes, they are, and that's where he's really good at. And then he's an excellent lyrics writer. I'm always amazed by what he shows up with, and when we just tweak it a bit, but that's his specialty. And I think, yeah, you like it actually.
Yeah. That really, I won't say it's easy, because it's not. It's never easy. Music is
Especially when you're
pain.
writing in English, I'm sure that makes an extra level of difficulty because of second language.
Yeah, yeah. But it wasn't always that way. You have to work, especially if it's not your first language.
Yeah.
But yeah, a lot of work. But about the songwriting, it wasn't. It's not. I have a process. I always start with a concept that I want to talk about, even if it's I don't know, like personal stuff about things that happened to me, or more conceptual things like Pandora's Box, the
Mhm.
first song of the album, talks about the traumatic memory in the process. And excuse me, it's okay. Yeah, it's all about traumatic memory, and I wanted to. I think speaking about stuff at the, how do you say in English? I will call my joker Bertrand au premier degré.
Oh, yeah, trying to be um, explicit and explain things just like the way you feel them directly, but
Yeah,
not being too explicit in any case.
yeah.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
don't like the I don't like to be I don't want to be the main the verse is like, yeah, dramatic memory, it's like it's not interesting at all. But I thought that the theme hidden under the Pandora's box myth has more power in it. I don't like to give the key to the songs. I just for me the title of the song is like, here you have a door, you can unlock it if you want. Just I give the lyrics and then figure it out yourself, you know.
yeah, yeah. Like you have reasons, personal reasons behind it, but you're not necessarily wanting to present those specific personal reasons. You're
Yeah,
wanting to make it
exactly.
more of a broad thing so other people can get what they need to out of it.
I don't want the album to be like named Julian Complain for like 1 hour, you know?
Yeah, but in any case, one great thing about this album is there's something general here that you are extremely good at expressing pain in different shapes, in different ways,
Yeah,
where
pain and love.
Mhm.
yes, oh yeah, that's correct. And you manage to express that in different shapes through different prisms, and that's something that we can be really proud of. We really like how it turned out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm pretty obsessed by love in the general meaning of it. Like, there's good love like within people, not within, between people, but there's also awful love, like yeah, you have like terrorism and everything. It's still love, but it's a really bad one. But it's a process that interests me a lot.
Yeah. Kind of the paradox between one subject matter that can have totally different extremes. Like you said,
Yeah,
it
yeah,
can
yeah.
either be really good or really, really terrible.
I like to see what's not to see, but to imagine what's happening in the mind of a person at a really precise moment of his life. Whether it's I don't know, like terrible stuff like terrorism, as I say, which is the theme of Reborn, actually, and or at different moment like you've been left by someone which you loved, and how do you feel, and how do you convert this pain in hate or in different stuff. Yeah,
Right.
it's this moment of switching in the mind of people which interests me a lot.
Yeah, yeah. No, it is, and it is interesting. And they say love can be like a drug. And so like I
Yeah.
like to watch a lot of documentaries I that are disturbing. And some of them are like stalker documentaries. That is that
Ah,
very
yeah.
fine line between love and like obsession, you know? And so there's also like that parallel, that like you said, that flip that is almost two sides of the same coin, but in an extreme
Exactly.
way. Yeah.
Yeah, and back to your question about writing in English, the one amazing thing that Julien managed to do is he always comes up with an idea of the musicality of how it is going to sound. And then somehow he managed to find the words that perfectly fit in and have the great meaning that we were looking for. So that's the process. This is thinking a bit in reverse, but it does work. And yeah, we like it.
Yes. So moving forward, I mean, and maybe you don't know yet since this album hasn't even come out yet, but moving forward, but you have been together for a long time. But moving forward, is this kind of still like the subject matter that you think you're going to continue on with, or are you going to mix it up, or do you know?
Huh, about the theme, you mean? About the themes
Yeah, yeah,
in the
just
songs?
about the, mhm.
Hmm, that's a good question. I haven't thought about it now. Uh, Now I think there's a lot to talk
I
about
think
in.
Julien will you always find things that you can. Yeah, you will always have things to express. You're like that all the time. You have plenty of things
Yeah,
to
yeah,
tell
yeah.
us about how you feel about a certain moment and experience. You are still a human being with all your experience, and you will have plenty of things that you can express, and we'll find some ways to turn that into great songs.
Yeah, and digging deeper in the psychology and like and everything with even if it's not from me, it's about the people around me that I can witness. Yeah, there's a lot of subjects really interesting. Like even outside of the music, even for my life, I like to dig in those themes. So yeah, yeah, I think I won't be empty. So
No, I
so
mean, it
far not
sounds like
empty.
just like with what you guys are saying, it sounds like you are, yeah, very into the psychology of the human mind, but also like philosophic. Oh my gosh, why are words so hard for me right now? Philosophy, geez, my goodness. Oh, but yeah, like philosophy as well about just how to think about life in general. You
Yeah,
know,
I mean, the more open-minded you are, the more inspired you can be, because the more you open your mind to what can come to you, even from sides you don't imagine. Yeah, be open, people,
yeah,
always.
I think it's so important too. I mean, obviously we have music out there that is more like arbitrary or is more like party music or is more like
Yeah,
whatever, you know. So I think music that really makes you think, I think is so important. And that's what we usually turn to when, you know, we need comfort or we need understanding or we just want to think deeper about something.
yeah, and that I think that's the most, sorry, difficult part is to I want to talk about this stuff, but I want to make it not boring, because it could be really really cheesy or boring, or like, and I really want to be. I want that everyone can relate, even if he or she doesn't understand the first meaning that I wanted to send, but it doesn't matter after all.
Right.
It's like,
Yeah, you always have a point to make. It's not just you are going somewhere. You have a start, you have a finish line, and you are trying to elaborate something that tells something about you, because the lyrics and the way the songs are written are just like you. They are intense. I think that's the word, and you will never run out of ideas of things that you are expressing in the songs.
and like you said, Nika, in the first place, it's all about emotion. It's like, after all, in the end, I could be thinking la 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 la. If the emotion is here,
Yeah,
It's
there's a
going to
lot of
left.
emotion that comes from musical composition. I mean, if you guys didn't even have lyrics at all, there still is absolutely that emotional aspect to just the music itself.
I think the lyrics is like not a bonus because the song has a whole meaning, but it's more like hey listener, while I have you here now, now if you want to listen to the lyrics more deeply, you can, but if you don't care, I don't care at all. Be my
Right.
guest, just enjoy the music and go on.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So clearly you guys, especially since they are your fellow countrymen, have a little bit of a Gojira influence, but it's not when I first started listening, that's automatically where my mind went. And then the more it went, the more I went, oh, there's like a hint of it, but not like a full whatever extra version of it. Like you guys add a lot of different elements that Gojira doesn't have in their music. I also heard a little bit of Jonas from Catatonia in some of your vocals. You have a very high vocal range, but there were times that I was like, oh, and I love Catatonia. I'm a big fan, and so I was like, oh, I'm hearing a little bit of Jonas there. So you guys have so many different dynamics that you're pulling from, whether you meant to or not, I don't know, but pulling from other bands. But then you do like your own thing too to make it something completely different and special. And I think that's amazing.
Well,
Oh, thank you.
thank you first.
Yeah. Yeah, actually, we have a lot of influences, and obviously Gojira is one of them. Obviously, we're French, and I mean, actually, we've been fans of Gojira for a long time. But in the writing process, there's no such thing as using an existing recipe, especially not coming from Gojira, because we don't want to be like them in our process. We like that, but what we really like is how sincere they are in treating a subject or writing something, telling something. And that's one thing that we kept, and that is expressed in a different way, in our own
But
way.
Yes.
the thing is, when people ask me, what am I influenced by, usually I can't answer to that question because I don't know.
Good.
I'm not, and I'm not being, I don't know, is quirky a word? Quirky? I don't know.
You being
Well,
cocky about
doesn't
it, is
matter.
that the word? I
I'm
know
not
what you
bragging
mean.
around saying that. I'm not
Uh-huh.
be. Nah, I do my own stuff and like, no. That's not at all what it means. It's more like I get influenced by I don't know by different things, different energy. It's all about energy actually. A different moment of my life because the songs are not composed in 1 week.
Oh,
A song it can take I don't know, several months. The record actually is 2 years for one song. Yeah, so it's really I have to catch the wave while she's here. The inspiration here for that song, that precise song. It's now. It has to happen now. So yeah,
Yeah.
obviously I'm listening to a lot of metal, like Gojira is in those bands. But yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
I get bored a lot. If I try to compose something that it's too similar to stuff that exists, I can be doing it like for like 1 hour. Yeah, that's good stuff. And then I'm like, well, I know that already. I'm bored.
right.
They do it better than I do. It's their recipe. I don't want to make it like them. So
Yeah. And this is where we're trying to have a red light at one point where we feel like this is going too much in the direction of something that already exists, or it sounds like Trivium or Gojira. We are like,
Yeah.
no, that has to be more subtle than that, because we are not really expressing what the point that we want to make. It sounds like something else because it's not up to the goal that we set. So we are reworking the thing and making it more subtle than that.
And that's about your first question about the time it took to make this album. This was one of the most difficult part because when you have no the word no repère, no.
Yeah, you have no directions, you have no
Yeah, yeah.
instructions. There's no
I mean,
manual on
you
how
have
to
an
do an
idea.
album.
Sorry, you have an idea, but it's abstract. You don't have an you can't. If I decide to do a thrash metal band, an old school thrash metal band, I have thousands of examples which works really well. I can directly not copy them, but go in their direction. And for with Kozoria, it's impossible because I'm like, I want to be something, that's like, I have it in my mind, but I can't tell it to you. So please follow me, guys.
Yes. No, and I that's a really good way of explaining it, because even though it's hard to, like you said, you can't really explain it. It's a good way of explaining what you can't explain, because that's what you hear, and you saying that you guys don't, you might have influences, but it's not really you guys, you have something, like you said, different in your mind that you're trying to lay out there, and you can hear that it's different. I do want to ask you too about the name of the band. I was trying to look up what that means, and I was not trying. I mean, obviously I don't speak French, but I don't know if it has anything to do with that, or if you guys just came up with a cool name.
I'll make you happy. I have the answer for you. Ready? When I created the band with my old friend now, we were looking for a name that meant something in the first place. And Kozoria means something.
Okay.
And we were like, we were searching for. It doesn't took that long to figure out the name of the band, but we were like, okay, right, we like stuff that goes like under the things which he's at the roots of everything, like the smallest things which explain the biggest ones. And we found out Kozoria, so the place of the meaning of everything, and we were like, Kozoria, we like the meaning of it, but it sounds awful. So, and from Kozoria, it became Kozoria.
Okay. So it just kind of flowed into a different version of what you guys were coming up with.
Yeah, it's like a two-man slang, We invited a word from, we invented, sorry, a word. So
That's
yeah.
perfect though. I love that. I love that and that's why I was like, I'm not seeing this anywhere. And I was even like looking in French, and I found something in Japanese, but it was spelled totally different. And so I was just going, I don't know if this, it's just, and
it's
I like
English
that.
transferred by two French people.
I
This
dig
is
it,
what we
though.
do with your language, it seems.
Hey, you know what? It's probably better than we do with with our language, because our language is a mess. There's too many things that mean too many things. I can't imagine how difficult it is to learn it.
Yeah, however, we like the musicality of it. It's
Yeah.
not a surprise if we are writing in English, even though we are French. Obviously, writing the lyrics in French would be easier from a process standpoint, but we like the musicality of it. And let's face it, we were also shaped by most of these influences and all these great bands that write in English. So that had to translate somewhere, but we like the result of it. We like the musicality of it, and we like how we still manage to push the messages through the lyrics. So it works. Let's keep going that way.
And it's a name. It's not words meaning something. So we even in 10 years, even if the themes
keep evolving.
Sorry. Yeah, keep evolving. We won't be betrayed by the name, because it's like a name. It's like Julien. It's like Bertrand. It's like Nika. So that. Because if you have a band called Pain of Death and everything, and if you start singing about flowers, yeah. Can you imagine Cannibal Corpse doing like a ballet?
So true, but also it's very unique to you guys. So it's not like unless other bands are legitimately trying to rip you off, that's not going to happen because it's special and unique to you guys.
Yeah.
Yeah. So let's talk about The Source, which comes out, gosh, in less than 3 weeks, October 11th.
Oh yes, it's
I've
very
already
close.
listened to it. Finally,
Yeah.
Oh yes.
debut album after 10 years. I've already listened to it multiple times. I absolutely love it. The self-titled track, which does not feel as long as it is. Like I when I looked at the time, I was really shocked because you get so lost in the song because there's so many different things going on and so many different shifts and melody changes and stuff. Let's talk about the title track first, which is the last one on the album, but it's quite a journey.
Oh
Well,
yes, it is.
thank you. Yeah, it is
Yeah.
actually.
Love it.
And I like the idea that it was the last track that we wrote for this album. And
Even that you
when the final touch was brought to this one, it was obvious between us that that was going to be the title track. It makes sense. This is an excellent, not summary, I would say, but it's an excellent last point for this album. And having that as a title track makes sense because there's a great
Yeah, and we
uh,
knew that it won't we I think yeah, we knew that it would be the last the final one for the album, the last one. So we authorized ourselves to make it a little bit longer than the others. Yeah, a little bit. It's not that long actually. Nine
not that
minutes.
long, no. It's like a
uh,
little over 8 minutes. It's not,
Yeah,
but it doesn't even feel like an 8 minute song
yeah.
because like I said,
People.
you get so lost in it that you don't even realize that it's even that long.
That's what I try to do. People won't believe me, but I really try. We try to do the songs the shorter we can. We don't want to do like only 10-minute song just to do it. It have to mean something. I mean, each song has the time it has to. No, not has the time. Sorry. Help, Bertrand.
yeah, we're not trying to give a short duration just for the sake of fitting in that, but we're not
Yeah.
either in the direction of going as long as we can. It's just we have a point to make. We want to add the riff in the song if it makes sense. If it has to come back, it needs to mean something. So it's here for a reason. And so we end up with songs that can range for a few minutes to this one, close to 9, but it's always intentional.
Yeah, and so I was talking about the song who took 2 years to be composed. Yeah, this is the one.
Ah,
Here it
makes
is.
sense. Makes
Yeah,
sense.
I had the clean part since like a long time. Like
Yeah.
at the first, I started with the intro, and I was like, yeah, that's not the right moment. We'll see that later.
Yeah.
I don't feel it now with my yeah. It's not my energy. I'll see later what I can do, and then month by month it started to build up, and then, yeah, nah, I really like that people always people who already have listened to the album really like this one, and that's kind of surprised me because it's really long as you
Yeah.
said, but yeah, that's a good thing. It
So
shows that you don't have to always, at least, to be in the trend now, like 2 minute song, 2 minute long song, which I can love too. But you don't have to do that to make people like your stuff.
yeah, not if you're doing it well, you don't.
Yeah, yeah. I think the most important is the time felt, not the really duration, not the real duration of the song.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it doesn't feel like it doesn't feel like you just get lost in it. And so it's not one that yeah, it feels like that long. It's such a wonderful journey for the end of the album too. And then you're like bummed that it's over, but then you just, start it back over again. And really the end of that song into the beginning of Pandora's Box flows really well together too. So people that, are get the CD will be able to just go right back into the beginning of the CD again. That flows really well together.
Awesome. Yeah. And the point is, this song, we already knew that it was going to be the end of the album. So we took the time that we needed to make that into a proper end of the album. We were not like composing songs and then tweaking that into an order. That the order here was intentional. We knew it would be the conclusion. It needs the space and time to build up and then be a proper album conclusion. And yeah, we like it.
Yes, yeah, I like that. And that's something that, you know, bands, of course, are usually pretty direct on how the order of songs go, but with streaming, you don't necessarily get someone who's going to go through and listen to how you guys have carefully constructed it. It seems like maybe it's coming back a little bit more now to where people are listening to entire albums, but yeah, so how have you guys like talked about that? How do you combat that to where you can get people to go, no, listen to the whole album, don't just pick and choose, which obviously pick and choosing is okay too, because you're still listening, but
Well, we talked a lot about that, but we decided that we had to do a compromise. It's like if the songs are good by themselves, they are good. Whatever the order, whatever if someone click on Kozoria and listen to whatever song it is, it has to be good. So yeah, but we thought a lot about the order of the album because we want also to please people who really want to dive in the music, dive in the album and listen to it in a row. So yeah, there were long discussions about that, about the order and everything. But yeah, I think we managed that right. I mean, the songs are pretty efficient. They're so yeah, I'm not really afraid by that. Everybody can
Yeah.
listen, and like Kozoria people, listen to that.
right. Well, and you have 3 songs that you guys have already previously released. And of course, that's usually what the people are going to start listening to because that's what they hear first. And so, but hopefully it does bring them in for the entire album once the entire album is released. Let's see, you had us released one, I think it was 4 months ago, and then 1 month ago, and then one just a couple weeks ago. I looked at the comments that you've gotten so far, and people are very much enjoying what you're doing and really stoked about it. How have you felt on your end, or do you even look on what the response has been so far?
Yeah, actually, we are very grateful because the people seem to understand what we are trying to convey here. It's not just, okay, we want a banger, we want a heavy riff. These are not the songs with the heaviest riff, the most efficient, but these are the ones that we selected because they are telling something about what Kozoria has become and how we want it to sound. And so obviously when the album is going to come out, you will have the full picture, but we are trying to bring a message here. Okay, that's the new Kozoria, that's the one that we want to bring further as a project. So, and there are different contents, different music videos in what we previously released. And we think this is telling a story. This is the new us, in fact.
Yeah, there's a lot of melodic compositions to the music as well. You know, you do have the heavier parts with the harsh vocals, both yours and your guitar players, I believe, which he has more of like kind of the low guttural one.
Yeah.
But which you both sound so incredible together. I love when singers can do that, when their vocal range and pitch is so different, but yet it complements each other so well that you're just like, how in the world are they able to figure that out? But yeah, you have the heavier parts, but then you have the melodic parts in the singing. Like I said, you have such a large vocal range. You do so many different styles of vocals, just you and yourself, not even counting your guitar player. I don't even know what question I want to ask here. How do you figure out like kind of the pieces and parts you're going to put as far as those vocal and melody shifts, you know, because you do have, yeah, like it does this.
Roller coaster, people.
Right.
Get on board with Kozoria now.
Roller coaster.
The thing is, I started to sing in a choir when I was young.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, for like I don't know, maybe 10, 12 years. 10
Oh,
years. I will
wow.
say 10 years. And I really liked the is polyphony. Yeah, polyphony is right in English, right? Polyphony when several voices
Yes, it is.
are tapped together.
Yeah,
It is
yeah,
okay,
yeah.
right? Uh, I was all I've been always amazed by the singing with people and have harmonies, and I think that stayed.
Yeah.
Yeah, that that
uh,
that shows in the process for Kozoria. And actually, Julien, every time there is a new song that he's writing, he comes up with 10 different lines. So we need to select those that make the most sense. And sometimes they are even recorded, even at low levels. But the more you listen, the more you will hear these voices. And I would add to that that when we are playing live, we have an excellent playground with the vocals that we want to make live. So we are several people with a
Yeah.
microphone. And so that
Right.
gives us plenty of space to give this experience, sometimes same as the album, sometimes differently. So Gina is a mastermind in the composition of these choirs. And so that gives us plenty of content to play with. And this is something that you will keep seeing in Kozoria anyway, because this is our identity. This is at the core of the composition.
yeah, I feel like when we are at this moment of the live preparation, I'm like a child playing. I'm like, okay, you will be singing that part, and you that part. Yeah, that make a house.
Yeah, and we like that. We like that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Because in the album, you have sometimes you have like six voice different at the same time,
Yeah.
and we're not six, so you have to make a choice. And I'm like, okay, this one is too high for you. Maybe try this one. And Kevin, the guitarist, is like, okay, that goes for me. And I'm like, okay, now Bertrand, you will try this one. And there is also Demon Item in the album. The back vocals used in the album are not the same we use live,
Okay.
because none of them was working. And I was like, okay, let's figure something else out. And we
Something new.
tried, yeah,
Yeah.
something new. Yeah.
Yeah. So we go to once you guys do come to the States, um, a live show, what does that look like? What is a live Kozaria show? What do you expect?
Yeah. We are not in the approach where the live needs to sound like the album. This is something that we think about as a different experience.
Mhm.
So on all aspects, on the visuals, on the lights, this is really something that we like to play with because this is a new character in what we show of Kozoria. And then there's the part of singing. So that's, I think, I wish I could be in the audience to see how we sound like. But
Yeah.
this is something that I think to people is going to sound the most different, but hopefully in a positive way, because we need to bring something new, a new dimension in how the songs work and how we feel the singing parts.
Yeah, there's I said earlier that it was all about energy, and when you're in your room listening to a band, you don't need the same energy than when you are live with this band. So there is parts in the song that we doubled,
Mhm.
and part that no, actually we didn't cut. No, we don't cut. Cause oh yeah, don't cut things. We add things. Never. I mean, so far, maybe in the
Yeah.
future,
Yeah.
when we yeah, maybe with the second album we will have to make some choices, but yeah, so it's all about feeling. It's a really interesting job to try to imagine what it would be to be in the public, yeah,
Yeah,
In
in
the
the crowd,
venue,
yeah.
yeah, in the venue, and listening to our own band. And okay, that was really quick. I didn't had the time to move, and we have to be in the people mind to imagine what they will feel,
Yeah.
and that's really interesting.
So is that kind of what you guys, yeah, think about mostly is the emotion behind the music and how to be able to portray that to who's watching? Like visually, is there like just high energy, moving around a whole lot, or is it more of like sitting back and trying to expel that emotion, or both?
Oh, it's not sitting back.
No.
No, no, no. Yeah, we we move a lot. I think we can summarize it like this way. We move a lot. Yeah, yeah. I could burn my shirt after the show, and
That's
yeah,
funny.
yeah.
Yeah, we like to play on stage, not just play the songs, but play the
Yeah.
character of the being of Kozoria, and we like to play with the character of the lights, and we want to blend in with the energy that we're trying to convey with each song. So that's a really different piece of work compared to just playing the album as it is. It's totally a different experience.
Yeah,
Right.
it's all about compromise too, because there is part you just want to break your head on the ground, but you have to play the song too. So you try to temper yourself, like, no, 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 I have to sing in the microphone, not on the ground.
Do you
Yeah.
do you feel like I feel like this is obviously or an obvious question, but do you feel like the energy with the crowd shifts the mood on stage? Like can it like if people are um even more involved, do you feel like the
Oh
energy
yeah.
exchange?
Yeah, yeah, of course, of course. But
Mhm.
you know, even if we're playing, I did that ever happen? Yeah, no, I don't think so. But even if people, we are in a venue when people, if people doesn't like our music, it never happened so far. But maybe in the future, I don't know. Um,
Or dumb if that's the
we
case.
won't be giving up for that.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
we're still expressing ourselves, so you can't be liked by everyone, but
Of course.
I think yeah, the more people give you, the more you can give to them, but it's your job to make people wanting to be with you.
Mhm.
It's an invitation. It's not you can force them to to be with you, but if you're doing the right job, if you're being honest with them, I think, yeah, everybody can enjoy Kozoria live.
Yeah.
Listen
Yeah.
Yeah.
again, everybody, listen to me, people.
Right. Yeah. Well, I think as long as you guys are able to actually get it out there, because it's so hard now. I mean, it's easy and difficult nowadays. It's easy to get it out, but there's so many bands that are
Yeah.
putting out music all the time that it's hard to get people to pay attention to specifically you, you know. I am terrible about going through I get emails, I get a million emails a day and I don't always have time to go through them. And so I was really excited. I had gone through, oh my gosh, probably 30 emails. And you know, I only because of time, I'll listen to 30 seconds of something and if it doesn't catch my interest, then I'm like, okay, next. And that's unfortunate and not super fair to the bands, but that just shows how much you guys like really stuck out to me because not only was I like, oh, after 30 other listens of other bands, and I was like, no, 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 no. And then I was like, oh, oh, oh. And then I just couldn't stop listening to it. And so and
What?
I was just like, oh, it just gets better and better and better.
So,
And so that's exciting for me.
with which song did you start?
Just with Pandora's Box, because I had
Yeah.
the
You had the whole.
holics.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah, just from the beginning. Um, yeah, because I was just going through all the different holics that I had and all the different emails that I had. And so yeah, it was the literal first part of the album. But then I went down the whole rabbit hole and watched the videos and obviously listened to the album quite a few times. Yeah, and so for me that listens to a lot of music, you guys were able to hook me right off the bat. So I can't imagine if you guys are able to get it more out there for people to go, okay, just listen. I don't see it that you not filling houses up, you know.
Yeah, actually, with Kozoria, we are doing a bet, which is if the music that you are doing is sincere and you are making a point, you will be remembered.
Yes.
We are fully aware that there are plenty of bands playing all the time in so many venues. There are millions of people listening to metal, but it's hard to build something on the long term. But we trust that we are building something that means a lot to us and that will be consistent over time. So if people get to listen to us, they will stay with us for the rest of the journey if they like it.
Right.
So we will always have people being open to metal, and we think that if they like us, then let's keep that going. Anyway.
For sure. Well, and really, now that the whole masses, even not people that like metal, are seeing that France is bringing it because of Gojira
Yeah,
and the
Gojira,
Olympics,
bro.
right? And you guys are like perfect timing with putting this album out, because even though you're not Gojira, you are a French metal band that maybe people are like, oh hey, what's France doing over here with
Yeah, that's true.
music?
That's true.
It's really good timing, and so hopefully that will give you kind of that extra boost that maybe you wouldn't otherwise have.
Yeah, we felt really grateful for Gojira and generally the music of metal being represented in such a worldwide event, because that's not the most popular genre in France at the moment even. So that was a surprise for us, and an excellent surprise. And we saw in a lot of comments on the music video of the performance they did, so many people felt at long last represented
Yes.
in a worldwide event. So we are glad it was Gojira, but even if it was any other international band, that would still have felt very good for us, because yeah, we do exist and we are a community. We like to share our music. So, and we're especially proud if this is
Yeah,
Gojira,
but
of
that's
course.
Gojira, bro.
It was one of the most incredible things to be able to see, and I definitely am part of that. Even with not being obviously from France, I was just like, finally metal has a big representation that I mean, the American football is huge over here, and as far as the Super Bowl every year, it's never a metal band. And I'm like, what are you guys doing? Like, it's a violent sport. Like, use some aggressive music.
That would make sense. Oh yeah,
right.
yeah.
Or hockey, like especially hockey. But yeah, even over here, I was just like, oh my gosh, finally there's some representation in such a huge event. And yeah, it was amazing that it was Gojira. We actually are seeing them and on the October 12th, the day after your guys' release,
That's right. Yeah.
they're gonna be in Nampa or in Idaho, and so we're gonna see. I've seen them already, I think 2 other times, so this will be my third time seeing them. My son's never seen them.
Oh,
But
nice.
but yeah, I agree. I think it's awesome, and I hope that people that otherwise haven't listened to metal get the bite and get it, and then hopefully the genre will grow. And there's a double-edged sword there, but
Yeah, yeah.
it's such a kind community. I feel the most comfortable and safest at metal shows. I do notice when it's a more like mainstream metal band, like we just went to see Slipknot, and the crowd was awful.
Yeah.
And I'm not used to that at metal shows. And so it's there's definitely a double-edged sword. It's like, keep our community kind, keep our community pure. Don't bring in people that don't know how to be respectful and act.
I don't know. I think that people who don't actually like metal and that won't take the time to explore metal will not stay for long. I think
That's
metal
true.
is really a genre where it takes time to appreciate different bands and you need to explore a lot. So if I don't think that Gojira is only going to be a trend. It's going to be more popular for people that are open and curious, and hopefully with a lot of international bands behind them. But I'm not afraid by the idea of having too many people listening to metal. There's no such thing. It's
Yeah.
just it's a music that it takes time to digest and comprehend. So
Yeah,
we can
it's
still
about
be confident.
education.
Mhm.
Maybe it's
Somehow it
about
is.
education, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and then if that does end up being the case, then they just learn by example, right?
Probably, yeah.
I did want to talk about Fading Embers as well. That was the first one that really stuck out to me. That was the first one that, I mean, obviously the Pandora's Box did, because that's what made me start listening to it. But when I had listened to the whole thing all the way through, Fading Embers was the one that I got like that, like, oh, even that extra excitement in. So tell me about that one.
Huh, that's Bertrand, maybe you can speak on this one and his oldest version and everything. See, actually, it's a good example of our evolution.
Yes.
But maybe you can speak about it better than I will do.
Yeah, this song has existed in so many different shapes, and that's an extremely good example of how the new Kozoria recipe blended with some already existing riffs and structures. I think it found the right vessel at the right time to fit in the album, because we have liked this riff for a long time, but it needed something more, and that was the final Kozoria recipe that
Yeah.
worked.
To be honest with you, Fanning Embers at the start uh, was more like was more of a kind of a thrash song. It was thrash metal. The main
Okay.
riff was like so it was in the old Kozoria, the old area, and I never felt happy with that. But I were like, yeah, I feel something usable. I feel I'm approaching something, but that's not the good. So I threw it in the trash, and someday I don't remember. Maybe that was when I started to play with choirs, and I thought about it, and I was like, maybe this one. Let me try something, and I just
And back from
uh,
the bin.
yeah.
Dust it off.
And yeah, that's where I found the chorus, the main melody, which
Oh yeah.
existed actually, but it was like really low. It was like my hand has failed, we're not there, and I was like, no, it needs more energy. So I started to scream it, and
Oh
that
yeah.
gave me, I think, the direction for the rest of the song. And yeah, it followed really quickly after that, I think. I found the intro, uh, and yeah, but actually, I think that's the oldest song in the album. I mean, if you count the oldest version, the older version, but yeah, I really like this one. Live, it's one of the best to play, because
Oh,
when the chorus comes, you're like, yeah, they will feel me.
Oh yeah.
oh, I bet. I bet. That's so interesting. So I picked the oldest one and the newest one to talk about. That's so
Yeah,
weird.
yeah.
How interesting.
And the ending of the song. Remember when I was talking about parts when I wanted to crush my head on the ground? The end of the song live is with the subwoofers and everything. It's like, oh my god, there's an earthquake incoming.
Yeah, and on this part, there's no singing, so you have plenty of energy
Yeah.
to
I have
spend.
space to move.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh my goodness. Yeah, it's an incredible album. I'm really excited that it's finally coming out for you guys to be able to share with everybody, because I do think it's really special, and I am so excited to see what you guys continue to do in the future. Don't wait another 10 years to create an album.
Oh no,
No,
definitely not.
I promise not. Now we have a process, because, yeah, it took sometimes, because we had to build the music too, but it's also like it's also building a project. You have so many things to build. It's like building a house from scratch.
Yeah, and
So
you had to figure out the process in the process. So
Right.
we were making the album by figuring out how we want to make an album, because I think there are 10 different ways to approach writing music. But we finally found our recipe, our process. So next time is going to be way different and way more efficient.
And you guys have the experience now too that you were learning in the process of the process. And so that I'm sure helps a lot too moving forward of, okay, now we kind of know what this looks like and how to do this. And I mean, well, and then you have like the videos on top of that. Yeah, building a house totally makes sense, because you have to create the songs, you have to rewrite the songs until it's comfortable for you. You have to put it into whatever order you want to put it into. Then you have to start deciding if you're going to do videos, what videos you're going to do, what singles you're going to do, blah,
Yeah.
blah, blah. I'm sure it's overwhelming at times.
The communication, the artwork, there's
Right.
so much stuff. I always say that it's like starting a startup a company without earning money. So you have to be
Right.
creative.
Yeah, with not only not earning money, but having to spend money.
Yeah. Yeah.
I know you have a show coming up in, was it Germany, I believe?
Yep, next week.
Okay, and then you
Yeah, we
guys
have
are
2 shows.
going, okay, cool. And then you guys are going to do a release party on the day of the release.
Yeah.
Are you planning on doing any virtual things with the fans of where you're gonna like do any question and answers or just playing or just talking?
Actually, no, the venue does not allow us to do this kind of thing. But the thing is that we guarantee to the fans that will show up on this day is that this is going to be a unique experience of this album. This is the only time that we will play the album in its entirety.
Mhm.
All the instrumental parts will be played with very special attention to details and unique versions. So we really like the idea of having this unique experience, even though it's a lot of work for a one shot. So that's a bit frustrating, but we really like the idea that we are designing something unique that will belong to the past and then moving on to the machine Kozoria in concerts. But this evening is going to be special, and of course we are planning to spend time with people who supported us over the past few years. Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
awesome. That's awesome. Do you guys do any of you or as a band do any like Twitch or YouTube or anything like that to where people can come and connect with you?
At the
Um,
moment, no, but we are planning to shoot some things. We won't say too much.
Yeah.
We
That's
don't want to spoil anything, but we are going to keep special memories about this moment, and we keep some stuff for the future. So
cool.
yeah.
Cool.
not
Awesome.
spoiling anything.
Yeah, no, I
Just a
understand.
hint.
I get that a lot. Like I ask the questions, of course, that I want to know, but I understand that there's things that need to be kept under wraps and that are still, getting figured out and stuff. And so totally understand. Obviously I'll be watching and seeing what it is and what you guys are doing. But yeah, congratulations on the upcoming release. It's an incredible album. I'm really excited to see what everybody else has to say once it comes out. And I just wish you guys the best moving forward.
Thank you. Thank you very much for your time and your dedication, and for taking the time to listen to the whole album. That means a lot to us. Actually, this is our first album, which is so special. So yeah, thank you. Thank you very much from the bottom of our hearts, because that's really appreciated.
Well, thank you guys for creating an album that makes me want to do that.
So,
Oh yeah.
and the other members, we couldn't make it to tonight. I mean, it's tonight for here, but yeah, do they want? They did want to thank you too for that.
Okay.
For sure.
Yeah.
Well, I do definitely plan on talking to you guys in the future. But yeah, enjoy the success that you guys have coming towards you. You guys definitely deserve it. And we will chat with you next time.
With great pleasure. Thank you. Thank you very much.
For sure. Thanks. Bye, guys. Good
Bye.
night.
Have a good day.
Yeah, good night here.
Bye-bye.